Kevin Williams and Bob Batters getting you set for Week 9 of the Shore Conference High School football season, the final weekend of games before the NJSIAA playoff matchups are determined. And Bob, a lot of games that will impact the playoffs, but let's start a couple of games that will have implications on teams clinching division titles outright. Let's start in A North, where Manalapan, the #1 team in the Jeep Store Top 10, visits Freehold Township.
Yeah, this is one that it is for a division title, in A North. Freehold Township comes in 7-1. Patriots have had a very good season. They have the loss to Howell, a couple weeks ago, so they have one loss in division. So the Patriots still out there for them. They could force a three-way tie for the division title with Howell if they get to win, but really, Manalapan the heavy favorite in this game. The Braves coming off a very impressive 28-0 shutout of Piscataway. So Manalapan's rolling. They're pushing all the right buttons. We knew they were a great team coming into the season. They've proven it so far. Their goal is to go 12-0 and win a state championship at this point, but one of their goals, is to win a division title, and that starts this Friday.
So let's go from A North to A Central, where St. John Vianney can clinch a title this weekend as well.
Yeah, the Lancers looking for their 4th straight Class A Central Division title, which would be unprecedented in their program history. They've won 3 in a row, which is already a record for them, and they'll take on Monmouth Regional, which has been one of the feel-good stories of the season in the Shore. 2-8 last year with the Falcons. They come in 6-2. A hard-fought game against Rumson last week. They lost 48-25. Looks like a blowout, but the Falcons, they hung around in that game. They didn't make it easy for Rumson. They'll try to do the same and really pull a stunner against St. John Vianney, who's definitely the big favorite in that one.
The complicated Class A South division, where there could be as many as a 4-way tie in the division. There still could be an outright division title. Let's start with the game, our Jersey Mike's game of the week, where Jackson Memorial heads to Brick Memorial. Mustang win. Worst they can do is get a share of it.
Absolutely. Brick Memorial and Jackson both coming off losses to GMC teams last week. Brick Memorial fell 35-14 to a very good South Brunswick team, and Jackson lost 28-14 to a very solid Old Bridge team. So both are going to try to bounce back, and a lot is on the line for both. In the division, we mentioned if Brick Memorial wins it, they'll guarantee themselves at least a share of the title. Central is the other game that if they win against Toms River North, they can share the title. We'll get into those scenarios next. But this is a tough game. Brick Memorial and Jackson have had some great matchups over the years. It's a big-time rivalry in that division. They've played in state championship games, some epic ones, really, maybe one of the best ones of all time back in 2005. So this is going to be a knockdown, drag-out game, so to speak. Should be a great one for you guys to have on Friday night.
And, of course, Central and Toms River North, if the Golden Eagles win there, at worst, they're a share of the championship as well. Toms River North really struggling, only 1 win coming off the loss to Toms River South.
Yes, exactly. So Central, we'll break down the scenarios now. So if Brick Memorial wins, Central wins, they'll share the title. If Brick Memorial loses, and Central loses, and Brick wins, and Jackson obviously would have the win over Brick Memorial, you'd have a 4-way tie for the Class A South title. All those teams would have 2 losses in the division. So we've seen some 3-way ties. We've seen it in A South pretty recently. I can't remember the last time I saw a 4-way tie for a division title. And once again, that just speaks to the balance in A South. I remember at the beginning of the year, we're like, who is the best team?
Yeah.
We don't know. What we do know is it's pretty even up and down. We've seen that throughout the course of the year. And could you imagine what kind of chaos it would be if all that broke that way on Friday night?
If Brick Memorial and Central lose, Brick would have to win at Toms River East, a very banged-up Brick team, to get their share of the title. So we'll see what happens there. And kind of under the microscope a little bit is the B Central division, where it's the foregone conclusion Mater Dei Prep, despite some off-the-field problems, is the division champion. But they actually have to beat Point Beach to wrap it up all by themselves.
They do. Mater Dei coming off its first loss in 1.5 seasons last week. A heartbreaker, 28-26 to Del Barton. It came down to the last play, the 2-point conversion try. Mater Dei dropped in the rankings. It's just the nature of the beast, but the Sarahs are still a very good team. And for Point Beach, too, Point Beach is playing its 9th game. So Point Beach can go out and shock Mater Dei, earn a share of the division title. That's great. It's not going to help their PowerPoint standings or anything. They're kind of locked in where they are other than residuals. So I'm not going to say you're not going to get a motivated Point Beach team. They're certainly going to want to go out there and shock Mater Dei, but you can see that game being big at half. They're resting some starters, especially Group 1. You don't want any injuries. And Mater Dei, with all that's gone around, with their head coach, Dino Mangiero, their offensive coordinator, athletic director, Lance Bennett, being suspended for the rest of the season. We've chronicled that on our website. The loss last week, first time in 17 games the Seraphs tasted defeat, you know they're going to be ready to come back out and turn it back around and get ready for the playoffs, where they'll be right in there in the mix around the 3-4 seed, looking to defend their non-public Group 2 title.
A lot of games this weekend have playoff implications. We can't do them all, but probably the biggest one is a game that was moved from Saturday to Friday night, and that is the explosive and dangerous Freehold Borough team going up against another explosive and dangerous team in Long Branch.
It is. This is a huge one in Central's Group 4. Long Branch right now sitting around the 4 seed, I believe. Freehold is right there on the cusp at 6. A lot of different things can happen in this bracket. We've got a lot of short conference teams, but this is a big one because if Long Branch wins, it'll be against a 5-win Freehold team. Would probably vault the Green Wave into the #1 seed. Freehold wins, they climb up because Long Branch is a 6-win team. Again, so a ton on the line here. A lot of other teams will be watching too to see kind of who wins, how this all shakes out. Freehold, as you mentioned, Kevin, explosive. That's because of Ashante Worthy. The numbers don't even make sense on the surface. He's got about 3,200 combined yards and 42 touchdowns this season. The short conference record for combined touchdowns this season is 44. He may have that by halftime. So, again, when you're playing against Freehold, you have to stop him. It's first and foremost. He's averaging over 400 total yards every game, which, again, is mind-boggling. So that's going to be first and foremost. You got to stop him if you're Long Branch or hope to win a high-scoring game. Long Branch has done it with bounce. Some games it's their running game and the sophomore running back Jermaine Corbett. Other times it's their passing game. Senior quarterback Juwan Wilkins has had a very good year. He's got a lot of targets to throw to. TJ Foscue, Pace of Fields, Matt Clark, Kmar Mims as the tight end. So, and Long Branch plays good defense too. They, a shutout win over Middletown South earlier, a hard-fought 28-21 overtime victory over Middletown North last week. So you play in B North, you play in a lot of big games. So that's where I'll be at on Friday night, and I'm looking forward to it because I think that can be an outstanding game.
And wrapping up, big weekend for the Middletown schools as well, both North and South.
Yeah, Middletown North and Middletown South, they have to win to get in. Both are sitting at 3 and 4 right now, uncharacteristic for the Eagles, and certainly for the Lions lately with the kind of success they've had. Middletown South against Wall, Middletown North with a non-conference game escapes me right now.
Ocean.
That they play Ocean, excuse me. So Middletown North with a division game actually. Again, it's a game Middletown North is going to be favored in. A little bit of a toss-up with Middletown South and Wall, but those teams have to win. And with Middletown North's case, probably have to win and get some help. So, again, it's going to be a wild weekend on the shore with teams jockeying for position and just trying to get a win and scoreboard watch and try to make the postseason.
Speaking of scoreboard, of course, you can check shoresportsnetwork.com for the scores all weekend long. And, of course, check out our picks on all these games we just talked about. The Atlantic Physical Therapy Center football picks. Check it out Friday on shoresportsnetwork.com. Kevin Williams and Bob Batters. We'll see you next weekend.